All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay, man. Make sure. I don't even know if this camera's on. Is it working? Yeah, it wasn't on. Hold on. Oh, man. All right. Hold on. Can I change this a little bit? It's like. Yeah, there we go. Oh, Lord. Lord, 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 Lord. Guys, man. First off, shout out to the people that was not able to watch the game because you didn't know that the time changed. I wouldn't have known either. I didn't find out until like later yesterday. And that's probably my fault too. I should have reposted it. Maybe more people would have saw it. But yeah, I should have done that. I don't know why I did. I don't even think I tweeted it out, but I saw it on Twitter like last minute. I was like, why couldn't they have made, I mean, I know sometimes weather updates, you know, they can creep up on you, but this should have been something they were thinking about at least a couple days ago. Like, we can tell when things are about to get bad. So I don't know why it was like the day before to reschedule it. I hope the people that couldn't make it or didn't even know that their tickets were at a different time, I hope they were compensated or got a refund. Yeah, I don't know how that happened. We good now with the audio? My audio? Ooh. $9 a.m. Oh man. Yeah. I'm sorry you had to go through that. It was just weird, man. It was so weird. So weird. Also, shout out to the new waiting screen clan. You like it? Like that? Mitch is tiring me out, bro. Guys, I got so much to complain about. I have so much to complain about. So much. This game is on Mitch personally. Hold on. Okay, so we just got some news. So I do want to talk about it. Okay. All right. How are you tired after 2 days rest? You know what I mean? Like, everyone was tired today, but like, why? Everyone else had to play too. Sohan is on the move. Yeah, they're gonna trade Sohan. That's probably inevitable at this point. All right, guys, I got a lot to complain about. However, I just saw some news, which I'm gonna check when this was put out, because I don't know if this was just put out or if this was put out a few hours ago. But I'm gonna talk about it in a second. But first and foremost, This game was absolutely horrible. I mean, it was just absolutely horrible, and I put 99% of it on Mitch Johnson, and I'll explain why in a second. But before we talk about it, big shout out to Sleep. Big shout out to Sleeper. Is Sleeper okay? Sleeper? Somebody need to check on Sleeper. Okay. I don't know what that is. Anyways, big shout out to Sleeper. If you guys are interested in daily fantasy sports, go check it out. Link in the description. Or you can use promo code CLAN. You get a 100% match up to $100. If you don't care about the daily fantasy sports section, I personally use this section the most, which is the social media section, in which you can see what's kind of going on around the league, what's going on with the Spurs, play-by-plays, injury updates. A lot of times I jump on here and just look at the stats like during our games. But I have done some of the daily fantasy, and it's really good. But it's really simple. So you go over to the daily fantasy part and you make your picks for the day. Super simple stuff. And like I said, you use promo code CLAN and you'll get a 100% match up to $100. So go check out Sleeper. Link in the description. All right, guys. Where do I start? All right. I don't know where to start. I don't know where to start, guys. This was such a bad game. I guess I'll just talk about the game and then I'll tell you the news. Okay, keep people on a cliffhanger, right? So you're on the edge of your seat. You got to get to the end so you can see what the news is that I just saw. So San Antonio Spurs once again get into a situation in which they allow a team to go on a massive run, down by double digits, and you're just climbing your way out of it, and you're hoping that our talent will make up for the discrepancy in points. Well, that's not really what happened today. The Spurs were able to come back, but once again, and I've told you guys this before, I'm really uneasy as far as the players we have on this team that's going to finish the game. As much as I love Wembanyama, I'm not necessarily bought on, and he will be. I think he'll eventually be, but right now I'm not bought in on, oh, you can give him the ball and there's a good chance that he's going to hit that clutch shot. I sometimes he has, but multitude of times he has not. But hey, just because you're a great player doesn't mean you're going to hit all of them. It happens. I mean, Michael Jordan missed plenty of game winners, big shots. It happens. Okay, so I'm not just saying that, but I'm saying all that to say this. It's mostly due to how raw his offensive game is, rather than me thinking he doesn't have the mentality or the gonads to go for those shots and eventually hit them. I just think that even though he has a great bag, he's still a little raw. He's still figuring things out. And this game was a clear-cut example of that. So before just getting on Mitch, I guess we should focus on Wemby just a little bit. Wemby was horrible. I mean, he was absolutely horrible. Now, on the defensive end, he was Wemby, but he still made a lot of mishaps. It was kind of strange. I was wondering if he was tired or if it's just coming down to when teams keep Wemby moving, he gets exhausted. Which that's what I actually love what the Hornets were doing against us, because they just kept the ball moving. They kept energy behind the ball, and the Spurs had a difficult time keeping up. I mean, we just had a difficult time keeping up. You already know that we don't have like premier perimeter defenders. I love Steph Castle. He's a great defender. I love Fasel, but I mean, these guys can't be out there all the time. And I mean, I'm trying not to go over to Mitch yet, but when you just keep our defense shifting the way that it was shifting, I mean, they're just going to destroy us, because Wemby is just all over the place. He's trying to make up for so much ground. And then some of the decisions that he make based on his own personal size are bad decisions sometimes. Right. Who did he leave open? It was a player that he left wide open. And it was because he just felt as if his presence was enough for them to think twice about missing that shot. But he left them so open in a crucial moment. Hold on. I'm going to bring up how well they're shooting from three. So hold on. Let's go to this past game. If you go to box score, there's a lot to complain about, guys. So strap in, okay? Especially if you didn't watch this game. Who was it that hit? Grant Williams. Grant Williams hit a big shot, and Wemby just left him wide open. It was a crunch time. Let's see. Let's go to his stats. What's his shooting like? Okay, he's barely played this season, but typically he's a pretty good 3-point shooter, right? 36%, 37%. Yeah, he just hasn't really played this season, so maybe that's why. But still, I just thought it was kind of silly just to leave him open the way that we did. Which, whatever. I guess he was 1 for 4 today, so I guess I won't get too onto Wemby about that. But it was a moment in the game that was very frustrating, where I was like, oh my God, they shouldn't have got that. Also, the amount of second chance points. I haven't looked at the stats on this, but the Spurs just continuously gave them second chance points. I love me some Wembanyama, and I understand that he was probably quite tired this game. But good God almighty, bro. Box out sometimes. Like, he had 8 rebounds today. He could have easily got about 13. But we just kept letting them get second chance points. It was really ugly. It was really ugly. And nobody else was really helping in that regard fully. So, just a bad game, guys. Just a bad game. Clan, you could have outcoached Mitch Johnson this game. I would have. Okay. All right. So I wanted to talk about Wemby because I get accused of not criticizing Wemby in certain moments. So I wanted to at least bring up how bad Wemby was today. 16 points is horrible from Wemby. He got to do better. He also looked tired because of what the opposing offense was doing to him. But yeah, he was horrible. He was absolutely horrible. And shots he were taking is like, what are you doing? What are you doing, Wemby? So it's okay. He's young. He's going to be fine. I'm not worried about Wemby. All right. You guys ready? Chat. You ready to talk about Mitch? Let's start with the good. One good thing that Mitch Johnson did today, in which I've been begging for it for the longest, was he took Harrison Barnes out of that starting lineup. Now, what I actually wanted for this entire season, and I kept saying this, was Harrison Barnes moved to the 3, and then we actually put our power forward, Sohan, in the game. That's what I've asked for, but we're just not going to get that, right? And Sohan is more than likely on the move and gone pretty soon. So it is what it is. I got to suck it up, got to deal with it, whatever. So that's one player that we're probably just not going to see on the court again. I hate to say it, but it's looking pretty dire. If that changes, that's great, but doesn't look like that's changing. So, but my second option was, please take Harrison Barnes out of the starting lineup. And there are 2 reasons. Number one, well, actually 3 reasons. Number one, he's struggling. Like, he is struggling from 3. It's very obvious. He's been horrible the last 2 months from 3. So it is what it is. Okay. Like, get out of the starting lineup. Stop giving him so many minutes. Please put him more in a position where, hey, if you can give us some tonight, you can play more minutes. Stop playing him as the starter so often. Number 2, defense. I think that our starting lineup needed a little bit more defense, a little bit more of a defensive jolt. And as much as I do like Harrison Barnes, he's not a defender, right? So it is what it is. All right. So those are my 2 reasons. And number 3, actually, what was my number 3? He's not shooting well. Need more defense in the starting lineup. Number 3 is he's an older player, right? So I don't want him, we're going to need him once the playoffs come about. And I think that you're going to get a better version of him if he comes off the bench. Well, guess what? He came off the bench and you got a much better version of him. Every minute that he was out there felt impactful. Every minute that he was out there, he felt a little bit more fresh, where he didn't have to go into the game and immediately guard the best players on the court. He looked so much better today, and I think that was a huge part of it. And we got a pretty decent Harrison Barnes performance. Like, yeah, he had a turnover, but he gave you in 25 minutes. It's kind of crazy he even played 20. He probably shouldn't have had to play 25 minutes. But he went 3 for 5 from 3. That's what you want right there. 2 assists, 3 rebounds. He had 1 hustle play that's not going to show up in the stats. Well, I guess that was a rebound. I think that was a rebound. So it was a crazy rebound, though. He dove for that thing. So Harrison Barnes was great today. I was happy that we made that adjustment. Take him out of the starting lineup. Good stuff. Number two, another adjustment that I liked. Steph Castle, we didn't run through Steph Castle the entire game. I know you see the 9 assists and you assume that we did. We did not. Now, funny enough, when we did run through Castle, it wasn't pretty. It just was not pretty. It's kind of weird because I think right now Steph Castle has the role that Dylan Harper should have, and Dylan Harper has the role that I think Steph Castle should have. Because I will take all of the lumps and bruises and pain and growing pains that comes from playing Dylan Harper a little bit more and allowing him to run the offense. It's going to be ugly at times, but I just think he's significantly, on the offensive end, he's significantly more talented than Castle on the offensive end, which is fine, right? They're just two different types of players. Dylan Harper isn't the defender that Steph Castle is. Like, that's totally okay. But I thought that Dylan Harper, I thought Steph Castle's role was they took a step back. We weren't running through him as much. And a decent chunk of this game looked pretty doggone good, right? It looked pretty doggone good without Castle. Now, let me run the show, that is. Now, before people say, oh, you're a hater, you don't know what you're talking about, yada, yada, yada. Hold on. Let me bring something up. I'm actually going to, I know this is like self-indulgent, but I'm going to go to my own channel here because I'm not going to be able to find this stat like so quickly. So let's see. Let's go to Clan here. All right, Clan. Show us the stat, buddy. All right. So this is kind of the telltale sign of what you're looking at here. So this is when they're in the lineup and what the percentile is. So obviously, you guys been to school. The higher percentile, the better when it comes to this. So Fox, when he's just on the court by himself and running the show, we're one of the best offenses in the NBA. When Harper is just running the show by himself, literally kind of the best offense in the NBA. When Castle is running the shots, we're one of the worst middle of the road teams. And when Fox and Castle are on the court together, middle of the road teams, but I think that's mostly due to the fact that you ran through Castle. So when you're running through Castle, we are a horrible offensive team. But when you run through Fox or you run through Harper, we're one of the best in the NBA because we just make the defenses move so much more. So yeah, so I was happy that we actually made a decision. This should have been done like maybe in November or early December. This should have already been a thing. But Mitch Johnson finally said, okay, we're going to take it out of Castle's hands so much. And we did look better for a chunk of this game. All right, so those are the positives. I'm done with the positives. Now it's nothing but negatives. First and foremost, minutes distribution has gotten laughable. Absolutely laughable. Okay? Absolutely laughable. The way that Mitch Johnson runs his minutes, it's like he goes into games and certain guys, yes, it's predetermined that you're going to get X amount of minutes. I understand that. But he does it to an extreme, man. You want me to believe in this game, and this is what I'm talking about. When people say, "Oh, you just want this player to play." I want our best defender. We have defensive specialists. I want them to play. Yes, I want my defensive specialist to play. I'll throw Sohan out the window. Sohan, you're gone. Oh, hold on. Look. Here's Sohan. Look, here's Sohan. You see Sohan? He's gone. He's out. He's gone. He's going to be off my team. All right. Okay. Everybody happy? All the haters happy? All right. Now, what did that fix? Now that Sohan's gone, what did that fix? It fixed nothing because we don't play any defensive specialists. Carter Bryant getting 0 minutes is laughable in this game. I don't know for the life of me what Mitch Johnson was thinking. I don't know why he thought that. I love Keldon. Okay, I love Keldon. Keldon had a pretty bad game today. I love him. But Keldon is not, even though our defense now is created in a way where it can hide the some of the issues that some of our defenders have. Like, we kind of have a quasi, I don't know what my cat's trying to do. We have kind of a like quasi zone defense thing that we got going on right now. So it hides the flaws of guys like Keldon Johnson and even De'Aaron Fox. And that's fine. I understand it. I get it. But good God almighty, this was one of those games where we should just play man-to-man, which we tried to, and they just destroyed us, bro. You had Wemby moving all over the place, just trying to make up room. It was so bad. Defense was so horrible. I don't know for the life of me why Carter can't get a minute in this one. I don't get it, bro. I'm sorry. I do not care. I do not care, bro. I do not care. I do not care. There's no excuse for this. No excuse for this. Even look at the distribution. Look at the distribution in minutes. Us versus them. They had 3 DNPs. We have 5 DNPs. What is going on? Everyone on their bench, about 18 minutes. It looked like they averaged maybe about 15 minutes. And then our bench, I don't know what we got going on. 20 minutes. It made no sense in this one, bro. So it's like, even when you do some positive things, you just do laughable, just absolutely laughable rotations. Oh, dude, I just saw that super chat. Crimson, I was doing that next, bro. He said, don't get me started on the Wemby and Cornette lineup. I am completely convinced. I'm a conspiracy theorist. I am completely convinced that whenever you see a Wemby and Cornette lineup, it means Mitch Johnson doesn't know what he's doing. I think that that's like a panic lineup. That's a team is going off on us. They're getting offensive rebounds. We don't know what we're doing. We're gonna go with that. And another thing too. I don't know if you guys heard he was mic'd up this game, so you were able to hear what Mitch Johnson was saying. I've given him so much credit, and I will continue to when credit is due. I've given him so much credit for being a more inspirational coach, saying the right thing in the right moment. I could not believe what he was telling the team. He said that the Charlotte Hornets were just getting they were making some crazy shots. That is not true. That was not true at all. It was our defense. We were giving them those shots. We were fouling 3-point shooters. I mean, it was horrible. We were not getting over the screens properly. I love you, Harrison Barnes. I love you. That one was pretty bad. I'm not going to lie to you. That one foul he had was pretty bad. I think it was on Bridges. That was pretty bad. But it was the perimeter defense. It was on us. And he made it seem like they were making like fadeaway half-court shots. That's not true. They were, though, Cap Clan? No. You really think that the Charlotte Hornets shots were that impressive? They were moving the ball. They were just getting the best quality shots. They were moving the ball. I mean, we weren't leaving them completely open. I mean, sometimes we did, but we didn't just leave them completely open. But they were just moving the ball. I don't know. I didn't agree with that. Even if that's true, guys, and this is my point. This is my point, Larry. Okay, you can disagree with me. If you guys disagree with me, circus shots, that's fine. That's fine. If you disagree, that's fine. You can say it was circus shots or whatnot. I don't think, in my opinion, especially how we were playing and how sloppy we were on the offensive end and how sloppy we were with some of the defense at times. I'm not a coach. I don't know if that was the best thing to bring up. That, oh, they're making some lucky shots right now. I don't know if you bring that up in the huddle. I think you focus in on what you're doing. I don't know. It was a weird thing to bring up. And maybe that's just me nitpicking. I don't know. But I thought that was weird. And yeah, going to the Cornette and Wemby lineup is just so dumb. And you know why it doesn't work? At least my opinion on why it doesn't work is because, first off, we already know since Wemby's rookie year that it doesn't work. We know that Wemby playing with another center just doesn't work. And everyone was bringing up, ooh, can we have the Twin Towers? It never worked. And even if you take Wemby in the Olympics, he started with Gobert. They immediately took Gobert out of the starting lineup. It doesn't work. And I think a big part of it is because Wemby likes to pick his poison, right? He likes to see what the defense is giving him. In any given game, he'll be able to adjust to it. Oh, you give me some open threes, I can take it. Oh, you give me to the paint, I can take it. But when you get him next to another center, you're kind of limiting his space on the court just a little bit. Like, what is he willing to do? What does he want to do at that point? Now, if Luke Cornett was back in his glory days or his early days where he was shooting threes or whatnot, or you feel comfortable put him in that corner, maybe, but yeah, not really. And even on the defensive end, once again, Wemby is so versatile, you don't really need another center out there with them. Cornett is also just way too effing slow. Cornett was he struggled a little bit today, for sure. He struggled a little bit today. But yeah, to me, that was just so silly. And it seems like every time Mitch goes to that lineup, it's just a throwing my hands up. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what to do with this one. Okay, so that's another issue I'm having. So you're saying we need toughness, we need defense. You don't play any defensive specialists that we already have on our roster. Please just utilize the roster. We're not doing that. French Vanilla was very dumb. I don't get why we're doing that. Another thing. Now, this is probably the worst of the worst. This is the worst of the worst. This is the worst of the worst, guys. This is what drives me crazy. Oh, hold on. The Charlotte Hornets went on a 20-4 run. I believe it was the second quarter. They went on a 20... Was it the second quarter? Yeah, it was the second quarter. They went on a 20-4 run in the second quarter, and we did not call a timeout. Do you hear what I just said? There was one timeout during this stretch, and it was from the refs. We didn't call the timeout. A 20-4 run. How do you not call a timeout? It makes me feel, and I could be wrong, but it makes me feel like you feel like there's no reason to call a timeout because I don't know what adjustments to make. How do you go on a 20-4 run? How do you allow a team to go on a 20-4 run and you don't call a timeout? I know you're lying. Was it one? No. He called a timeout when it was 8 minutes. 8 minutes. 8 minutes left in the fourth. And the score was 38-36. The last score, the end of the quarter, 47-61. They went on an insane run, and the Spurs did not call a timeout. They did not call a timeout. I wasn't lying to you. One timeout. Can someone explain that to me? Mitch ain't pop. A timeout? This isn't that like. I'm sorry, I didn't know Popovich was known for his just brilliant timeouts. I mean, that's like a very small portion of what made Pop great. Like very small. A timeout? That's like bare minimum. A team goes on a run, you call a timeout, you make an adjustment. How does a team go on a 20-4 run with no timeout? And it's not like the Spurs were like, oh, we were getting good shots off. Guys, this was the ugliest offense you can imagine. This was the ugliest brand of basketball I've seen from the San Antonio Spurs for a quarter. It was horrible. Horrible. Ball wasn't moving. I mean, 1-2 passes. Jacking up horrible shots. The Hornets crowd is going crazy. The momentum swing was insane. You blinked. And they were up double digits on us. And all because our coach would not call a timeout. I don't get that. I know this isn't me saying, because I know people are like, fire Mitch. I mean, I'm just calling it as it is right now. Maybe it's just young coach. You know, obviously, you know, he could end up being really great. He could end up being a Hall of Fame coach. I have no clue. I know The Spurs are number 2 in the West, so a lot of people will say, well, you're just nitpicking. We're number 2 in the, well, we're number 3 now. But you're just nitpicking, man. We're one of the best in the league. Let me show you something else. Let me show you something else. Something you might not have been aware of. Hold on. I think I liked it. Did I like it? Or did I save it? Here we go. Shout out Paul Garcia. The Spurs have trailed by double digits in nearly half of their games this season. I know 35 isn't nearly half. I mean, that's pretty dramatic for me to say that. But we enter 6-10 when down by 10. This is the first time the Spurs been down by 10 in 3 straight games since December 31st. So this is starting to become a little bit of a it's starting to be a recurring issue. But 35% of our games we have trailed by 10. Honestly, I don't really see many games where the Spurs just blow out teams either. Yeah, we don't get many games where we blow out any teams. Maybe a little bit. I guess it depends on what you call a blowout. Anyways, I'd say like 20 points ahead is about a blowout. All right. So besides that, moving on. Another huge issue from Mitch this game that drove me absolutely bananas. And I never say bananas. That's how crazy I feel right now. San Antonio Spurs. Our offense was horrible. Absolutely horrible. Now, you guys remember when I said that some players have bigger of a leash than others, or longer of a leash than others, and I think that that's very misjudged and very silly. Well, it showed its ugly head today because Dylan Harper, and this is not one of those. Maybe the stats are misleading a little bit. No, Dylan Harper went 9 for 13. Okay, 2 assists, couple turnovers, a steal, a block. No plus minus was -60 or -6, but this whole game it was negatives. People were in negatives all over the place, so it is what it is. Dylan Harper had 20 points in 23 minutes. He made some bad decisions here and there. I will admit, he's young, but he was by far our best offensive weapon this game. 20 points in 23 minutes. And in the fourth quarter, he played 1 minute? Was it 1? Did he get a minute in the fourth, guys, or did he not play in the fourth at all? Now I'm starting to question myself. Hold on. Did he play in the fourth? Oops. He played a minute and a half. Dylan Harper. Yeah, a minute and a half. Dylan Harper was going off this game. He made some mistakes, but he was going off. And I told you guys this before. I am fully content and okay with losing a couple games if it means that we're going to get the best version of Dylan Harper right now once playoffs hit, or we'll get the best version of De'Aaron Fox with Wemby in that duo before playoff hit. So I'm totally okay with taking the ball out of Castle's hands. And if Dylan Harper goes to a game and he gives us 5-6 turnovers, that sucks. That's awful. But I think from day one, Dylan Harper should have had the ball in his hands and it being more of his offense. His role is so simplified to the point where I think it's a disservice to what he can be even this season. Okay, he's not the second overall pick just for nothing. It's not like his draft was the same as Castle's draft. In Castle's draft, he's the number 1 pick, like easy. No one's even questioning it, right? In this draft, he's number 1 pick if it wasn't for Cooper Flag. So I am not bought in on the idea that, oh, he just needs to, come off the bench or whatever. Like, I'm totally content with Dylan Harper starting, and I'm content, and he doesn't have to start, by the way, but I'm also content with Dylan Harper having the ball in his hands and run the show a little bit more often. If he makes mistakes, fine, cool. Hopefully he doesn't make it more than 10 times in a row, and we'll be fine. But we literally benched him, and he was our best offensive weapon. In favor for Castle. I love Castle. I don't think Castle was like horrible in the fourth. I thought that his defense was fine. But man, do we not make adjustments based on what's going on in the game? It is like every single time. It's like we're a robot. It's like you get this amount of minutes. That's the plan going to this game, period. That's it. I don't know if we're trying to hold back because we got a back-to-back. I don't know. But whatever the plan was, it was silly to me. So no one can convince me that Dylan Harper shouldn't have got more minutes. I know it seems simple. I know it's like, oh, this player gets more minutes, this player gets more minutes. But it's getting laughable, man. Harrison Barnes coming off the bench. I loved Harrison Barnes off the bench. He got more minutes than Harper. Like, and then I think of this too. If Harrison Barnes is coming off the bench and Keldon Johnson only got 16 minutes, where did these minutes go? The Charlotte Hornets, the reason why they were able to pick us apart is because their minutes distribution was just better. It just was. Their minutes distribution was so much better till it seemed like they always had at least a player out there that had some fresh feet, some fresh legs. Too many guards. Spurs need to unload Castle, Barnes, and Sohan. No, Lance, that is not. I love you. Thank you for the super chat, my guy. That is not. I don't think that that's a good solution just to like let go of Castle. I will be content with letting go of Barnes if you can get something really good. I know that they're going to let go of Sohan. I mean, that's just kind of what it's looking like. You guys know my stance on that. I think it's disgusting how you weren't able to utilize that when you have some glaring issues here on the defensive perimeter end of things. I'm also not bought into the, well, this player spaced the floor, this player spaced the floor, this player spaced the floor. I'm not, but we are one of the most inconsistent 3-point shooting teams I've ever seen. So I don't buy into that. Nor do I think that, his 3-point shooting has been horrible. He hasn't really taken them. He hasn't really played, but it's fine. If I have to think of a future with Sohan not in it. Okay. He's not in it. Okay. We got Carter Bryant. No, he doesn't play. Also, biased coaching. It's very biased. He has this. He is in love with Castle, and he cannot let go of playing some other guys. Carter Bryant not playing this game is disgusting, guys. I'm sorry. He would have made a play or two that could have been monumental in a game like this, but whatever. All right, so here's the news, though. Okay, so this is kind of a weird stream because usually this would be a separate segment, but we're not going to do a separate segment. We're going to just go straight into what the news is because the Spurs literally play tomorrow. So whenever we upload this segment, we can like label it like big Spurs news and awful loss or something like that. I don't know. So Paul Garcia posted this. The Spurs are among the teams with trade interest in Keon Ellis, Perstein, and Fisher. So I know what you guys are going to think. You're going to say, well, Clan, he's another guard. It's not horrible. Having a multi guards isn't horrible. It's not necessarily horrible, okay? But you do need a power forward in there, and you do need a wing. Like, Spurs are literally a player or two away from being a true contender, not a get kicked out of the playoffs round one team. Keon Ellis is actually a decent pickup. a decent pickup. He is. He's a decent pick. Let me guess, Clan, overreacting again over a loss. I'm going to be so mean when I say this. I swear to God, some Spurs fans should just be Rockets fans. If you guys are cool with being mediocre and you're cool with just having bragging rights that you made it to the playoffs, then you need to go be a Rockets fan. If you are a Spurs fan, if you are a legitimate San Antonio Spurs fan, and you know that our bar is championship, then you would not be this upset with me being upset about a loss like this. I've been upset about some of the wins because some of this stuff that the Spurs are showing, yeah, you get some W's on the schedule. That's cool. That's great. But I'm thinking when we get to the playoffs, I don't want to be kicked out first round. And I don't want to be arguing with other teams that didn't make the playoffs and say, did you make the playoffs last year? I want to say, hey, we got 6 rings. Go sit down. But if you're cool with that, if you think that this is an overreaction, we can't win them all. Yeah, go be a Rockets fan. Go be a Rockets fan. Get out of my chat. Go become a Rockets fan. All right? Over here, we think about the future. And these mistakes that we're making, it's not just, oh, this is just a loss. If the Spurs were, look, back in the day when we were like top tier 50-win team and all that, I didn't feel this way. Like we would make certain mistakes here or there, but we know, we'll be okay, right? Everything is set up the right way. We're doing everything the right way. We're playing the right way. Yeah, you just lose some. This is not one of those situations. This is one of those situations where there are some very glaring issues that you need to correct. And a lot of these you can correct now. That's the problem. You didn't see me, like you guys probably see me. Hold on, let me read the super chat before it goes away. Actually, it's not gonna go away. It's not gonna go away. So let me say this, then I'll get to your super chat. You guys didn't see when we were going through the rebuild years. You didn't see me this upset because I knew, regardless of what decisions the Spurs make right now, coaching wise, there's nothing Pop can really do. Right? It kind of is what it is. Hold on, I want to go back to the highlight screen. It's kind of weird when it goes on this long. There we go. Yeah, it's kind of weird when it goes on that long. But as you guys know, I didn't get this upset when we were in the rebuild stages. And the reason why I wasn't upset when we were in the rebuild stage, because there's not much Popovich can do. I recognize what our front office is doing. They're making some good moves. I'm chilling. I'm upset that we're losing. It's not fun to watch. But it is what it is, right? But now we're at a point where this team is very good, and there's some decisions you can make right now, and I don't want us shooting ourselves in the foot. I'm okay. I can live with Wemby just played horrible, and he needs to learn, or Fox has some bad games or something like that. Like I can deal with some stuff or something like that when it comes down to the players, but it's just some glaring decisions that we make. And one of which that I've already brought up, and I'm starting to believe that it's a telltale sign that we're having some issues, or there's no adjustments to be made from our coaching staff, is when you go with the Cornet and Wemby lineup out of nowhere. It wasn't out of nowhere. It was one of those situations where it's like, we're giving them too many second chance points. Let's put him. And it's like, this isn't going to work. Yeah, it just shows a lack of creativity or running by your script no matter what. And that's how I feel. The leash on players are too short. Let them run, man. Let Harper make mistakes. I never roll my eyes when Harper tries a layup and it gets blocked to the third row. I'm never upset about it because I know the more reps that he gets, the better we're going to be off once we get to the playoffs, because we can win these games even if he's making some mistakes, because I think that overall it's going to be a net positive for us. Even with Carter Bryant, right? Like maybe his leash should be a little bit shorter than Dylan Harper's, but it shouldn't be so short that you don't even step on the court. We take Harrison Barnes out of the starting lineup, and then, okay, where did the minutes go? Keldon only got 16 minutes, so where did the minutes go? it's laughable, man. Anyways, all right, let me see the super chat. Jones says, got one headphone in while at work. The problem is the subs in the minutes, which is coaching. If only we had a player who was good at perimeter defense. See, this is what I'm trying not to, guys. I'm trying to think like a hater. Okay, they've been salivating over this for years. Okay, they've been just so excited with the idea that color haired man is not on our team anymore. Like they are just so happy and excited that he's gone. And I'm trying to get in their mindset, and I don't think this fixed any of our issues. However, I mentioned this news and I didn't go in on it. So Keon Ellis, so if you guys know about him, he's a feisty defender. He is a guard, but he's a feisty defender, good shooter. I think he shot like 37% or something like that. Yeah, this year he's shooting 37%. Year prior, 43%. Year prior to that, 42%. So it makes sense for the Spurs to be have some interest, and he's a feisty type of defender that the Spurs would need and they're looking for. So it makes sense for them to be interested, right? So that's the news there. So Spurs are interested in Keon Ellis, and we'll see if they make something happen there. Also, fairly young, only 26, so you don't have to worry about that. Only been in the league for 4 years, so it'll be a good pickup. I'm not gonna lie to you, it'll be a good pickup. Now, trading him straight up for Sohan isn't a good trade, but how the Spurs have treated this entire situation with Jeremy, I mean, we just tanked his value. Which I don't think that our front office intended for this to happen, but if you had a little bit more foresight in knowing that Sohan might be gone or you might be trading away, he's not going to actually get an opportunity this season. Good God, why didn't you just trade him last season when his value was higher? Good God. Like, this is like, we're in one of the worst situations right now with trying to trade away Sohan. Anyways, I think every team should look for Keon Ellis. Yeah. Well, that's a really good one. Like I said, Keon Ellis is a really good pickup. Don't just focus on, oh, he's a guard. It's okay. Like, OKC got plenty of guards. Like, it's okay. But you do need a wing. You need a power forward. I wish you played yours, but we don't really do that around here. Not Mitch Johnson's basketball. Hold on. Is there any other takeaways that I might be missing? No, I think we hit everything. Let me see what some of these reactions are. So this was my... I kind of crash out during games, guys. I get a little upset. I think we hit everything, right? No timeouts on runs, ugly offense, second chance points, no perimeter defense, no Carter Bryant, benching a hot Dylan Harper. If you don't like that, then you don't like Mitch Johnson basketball. Let's see what some of these people say. Let's see. He says, I'm going to be honest, Clan. This was a Wemby loss. I criticize Mitch a lot, and I'm not saying any of your points are wrong. Actually thinking you hit all the points where Mitch was bad this game, but Wemby's effort and decision-making were awful. I agree. Wemby was really off. I mentioned it during this live stream. It was very, very off. Also, okay, another thing I'll bring up too is, see, people that are very... I'm throwing shots. You guys know who I'm talking about. People who are very simple-minded and don't know what they're talking about will say, Victor Wembanyama needs to stop taking three-pointers, and that's their whole gimmick, right? Like, he should stop taking three-pointers. But in actuality, I don't necessarily think that he should stop taking three-pointers. But in this game, the three-pointer that he did, well, kind of all of them, but the end at the fourth quarter, the issue I have with that three, and it was kind of the issue I had with his threes last season, is that he's not taking what the defense give him. He's forcing it. He was forcing threes, or at least at the end like that. That shot he took was horrible. It wasn't horrible because it was a three-point shot. It was horrible because he forced it. That was not a good shot at all. That was a let's get out of here. That was a let me chunk this up and get out of here. My boy Swish Hill told me like maybe his sleep schedule was off and everything. It's like everybody's sleep schedule is off, so I don't want to give him that. I know that when, you know, there's cold air outside, that can kind of mess you up too, but like we're getting ridiculous at this point. Like that we're playing apologetics for what, you know, Victor Wembanyama was doing today. So no excuses. He should have been better. Yeah. And Wemby basically gave you nothing on the offensive end. Like 16 points from him, 1 assist from him is horrible. Horrible. You're basically doing nothing if you're Wemby on the defensive end. But I think it also still goes down to coaching. The ball was not moving, man. Moved a little bit early, but it kind of stopped after a while. I don't think Mitch has Wemby's ear. Mitch don't have the gonads to say stop taking bad threes. Well, Wemby, that's my thing. I don't think Wemby has been taking bad threes. But I think that last three was horrible. I was so confused. Maybe this was bad on my part. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. I thought it would have been a good idea to set something up so we can get an easy 2. And then we got the 2 for 1. And then we can try to win it. Play a good defensive stop. And we can either try to win it or we can try to tie it to go into overtime. Because, I mean, the last thing they wanted was for us to hit a 3. So, you know, try to get the 2 for 1 and try to get to the paint. But, I don't know. I'm talking in general, bro. Oh, okay. Yeah. Should never have such a bad 3-point percentage. Yeah. And see, that's the thing, too. The Spurs, we have, like, I hear a lot of people say we don't have shooters. We got some inconsistent shooters for sure. But a few things that are issues for me is when the ball isn't moving, this is what happens, right? Like it looks pretty ugly at times. We shot almost 40% today from 3, so it's not bad there, but it's pretty bad at times. And then with Devin Vassell, he's inconsistent, but Devin Vassell is better when he's an inside out. Like if you notice, once he started like picking his spots a little bit better, he looked so much better. So he should have took more mid-ranges early on. He should have got to the paint early on. And then I think that that's what makes Devin better. He is not a Champagnie. Champagnie is a spot-up 3-point shooter. Devin Vassell is not that. On occasion, he can get hot, but mostly he's inside out. That's where he can destroy you. Vassell takes horrible threes. Yeah, he took horrible threes. Keldon took some horrible threes too. I'm wondering if Keldon's starting to come down to earth a little bit. Like I told you guys, it would take a lot for him to get out of my good graces at this point. So I'm gonna be chill. I'm not gonna talk about Keldon. I think I've had enough getting onto him in the past, so I'm gonna leave it alone. But his last 5 games from 3 has been pretty horrible. For the month, he's still good, but he's had some pretty bad showings. Barnes foul at the end. What was that? Yeah, I don't even know what he was doing on that screen, and then and then just fouled him. What really drove me crazy was Mitch Johnson trying to fight for a review. I was like, why are we fighting for a review here? What was our bench doing? What were they telling Mitch Johnson? That was not a good challenge. It's like we hold on to timeouts forever, as we stated, and then he just went for... He was going to challenge that. Why would you challenge that? There was no reason to challenge that. Brian could have gave us some hustle points and rebounds. Yep, but hey, what's the point? But those are my thoughts on this game. Yeah, we'll talk a little bit more. Hey guys, can you give me like a second? Actually, hold on. While you give me a second, I'm gonna put something on loop. What's something that's not going to be copyright claim? There we go. There you go. Just watch this dunk over and over. I'll be back. Talk amongst yourselves. Clan, thanks for giving Carter Bryant his minutes. Like, no minutes is crazy. I don't get it, bro. I don't understand. And like that person said on Twitter, like, they're right that Wemby should have played better. I just think it was more to it than that. What? Putting that loss on Mitch is kind of insane. Our top 5 players missed everything and got cooked. Are we for real, bro? Are you for real? Putting it on Mitch? All this is true. Okay, maybe you can take out the ugly offense, but how's this not on Mitch? No timeouts. This, I guess second chance points, maybe you can put down someone else, but like, make adjustments, call a timeout, switch guys out, make a statement. Shoot, throw in Olynyk if you feel like they're not putting enough effort in. No perimeter defense. You got Carter Bryant. Oh, wait, no Carter Bryant. And then you bench Dylan Harper in the fourth. With Dylan Harper, did he bench himself? Dylan Harper was playing fine. Mitch saw the dunk and decided not to play Carter. Oh, man. Lord help Carter Bryant if he decides to dye his hair. You'll never see the court again. For the final 5 minutes was insane. Pretty sure it was the final 10 minutes, bro. It was the final... Hold on. Wasn't it the final 10 minutes? Final 10. No real NBA coach gonna... Oh, I missed it. No real NBA coach gonna let team come down and take half-court threes down 3. That's a point. I see somebody talking about the Epstein file, bro. Holy, bro. Holy. QAnon was horrible. They were crazy. Very dangerous group. Mind virus for sure. But I cannot believe that part of what they said happened. The George Bush stuff is wild. These people are so evil, bro. Trump, all of them. All of them. He should be in prison. All right.
Mitch, how do you think the guys handle the whole start scenario?
I don't think it had much effect to do with the game. Yeah.
That shot by Wemby, the three-pointer there at the end, is that okay with you? And did he rush it at all? Was that the shot you want?
There's a couple options on the play. I didn't get a good enough look at to probably give a advanced or super deep explanation or thought on that, but that was one of the options on the play. Him coming off the screen, whether he wanted to take the three or curl it and try to get something at the rim.
What went wrong there in the second quarter? Miller got
Yeah, a little bit of everything. I thought our discipline of how we wanted to guard multiple actions was not up to standard. I thought we fell asleep a couple times in terms of not staying connected to him, got lost in transition. The offense took some tough shots, turnovers. It was you win 3 quarters out of 4 and still lose the game. That means you had a quarter that obviously had multiple things not going well. And I think that was the case there in the second.
I mean, you win the other quarters possibly because you're clawing back, you're fighting back, and the opposing team is just trying to hold on to their lead. I mean, that second quarter, I mean, for him to say everything was going wrong, we weren't defending actions correctly, we weren't as disciplined, we were turning the ball over, we were taking bad shots. I mean, for you to say all this and not one timeout was called, bro, during a 20-4 run. Are we serious? Like, are we serious?
Prompted the lineup change.
We've had a lot of guys in and out of the lineup, and so it was just something as much of trying to get Devin back into his role that he was before, and not a lot to it other than that, but just felt like Devin the last couple games didn't quite find his rhythm, and thought maybe just getting him back to that starting lineup could maybe get.
Oh, was it all just because of Devin? Then all my stuff about Barnes should come off the bench because I've been struggling. I guess that makes sense because Barnes still got nearly 30 minutes today. So he's blaming Devin? Well, he's just saying Devin wasn't... Guys, a lot of people try to tell me that Devin has improved, which I am not one that talks bad about Devin, as you guys know. But to say Devin Vassell is a much better player than he was previously is just not the truth. No, there's nothing about Devin, at least statistically, that you can see that stands out that he's vastly improved. I mean, not really. He's the same player he's been the last few years. I don't really quite understand why people think that. Like, Spurs fans legitimately think Devin Vassell has improved as a player. And the only reason I think you think that is because he's given an opportunity. He plays, and every now and then you see a good performance, but he's also hiding behind about 2-3 players where he couldn't really hide behind them before. He had to consistently be good, and you could notice how inconsistent he was. But he's still inconsistent, which I've already said that it's okay that you're inconsistent if you're like the 4th option. So yeah. He's not a different player. I don't know why people think that. He hasn't improved. He's just the same player, which is fine. That might just be who he is as a player. It's not that big a deal. I mean, I like him as a player. He's a good player. He can go off sometimes. Anyways, I really hated when that was an argument, trying to use that as an argument against Jeremy. It's like, bro, you haven't even seen him play.
Get him back in that fold.
Harrison had such a long streak of games started. How do you think you responded to it?
I thought Harrison was great. Yeah, I think us making a lineup change isn't a big deal. I think Harrison Barnes starting for as long as he has is a big deal, and that's a testament to him and all his time and work and production he's put in over the years, and he's a consummate professional. And I think I understand they're very connected, but they're also mutually exclusive to me in terms of one being a big deal and one not. And the big deal is just Harrison, and again, his approach showed that he had a productive game off the bench and was great for us.
That's a really hot team you guys faced. Some good young players. Was there anything
You like the point so
today that disappointed you? Or just,
I mean, yeah.
A good hard game against a good young team that's hot right now.
No, it was disappointing for sure. I think Charlotte's playing really well, but again, we won 3 out of the 4 quarters, so that means there were some things that we were doing well as well, and we just need to do it for more of the 48.
Dylan Harper. Barnes. So it says the game. Alright, game. Spurs are up. Fox enters the game. By the time Castle comes back, it's tied. Let's see. Cause I know we started running through Castle in the second. Yeah, it looks like they went on a little bit of a run due to that as well. So when Castle came in, did Dylan Harper sit? Yes, okay, Dylan Harper sat right when Castle came in. And then they went on they went on basically a 10 to or 14 to 2 run, something like that. Then by the time it was too late, we made some switches, but yeah, because I know you started, like when he's saying like, well, something happened in the second, I'm pretty sure what happened was you started playing through Castle. That's what I remember. I'm trying to make sure I'm not crazy here, because you were up by 7. No, that's when De'Aaron Fox entered the game for Castle, actually. So he entered the game for Castle, and then you were tied. So I mean, that's not Castle's fault. They went on a run there. And then he enters the game for Barnes. You start playing through him. You got a Castle missed driving shot. You have a pass out to Devin that bricked. You had a Castle pull up jump shot. You're trying to force it to Julian. Oh yeah, that one Julian floater was horrible. That jump shot was horrible. Yeah, Steph Castle missed a 3-point shot. Yeah, I don't know. Ditch the mundane. Barnes embraces and loves the mundane. Spurs usually have bad quarter when they go up by a decent amount. Seems like the mistakes start becoming me ball. Yeah, we had some really good ball movement, and then by the time we got to the second quarter, it was just like stagnant. They didn't look like they were doing anything differently. I just think that Dylan's leash is just too short. His leash is too short, and Carter Bryant's is non-existent. Like, he doesn't even play. Wemby plays off in the story. I don't know what was going on with Wemby today. We already criticized Wemby. I don't know what was going on with him. But that's the thing, bro. Like, this is a game where even if Wemby didn't play, you should have had a shot. I know the Charlotte Hornets are better than what their record shows, but Mitch hates defense, I guess. I don't know. What time does Spurs play tomorrow? Yeah, we were passing the ball so well with that starting lineup. I was actually shocked they stayed in the game with us. I was impressed by that. Criticizing just Wemby is so dumb to the people in the chat. Yeah, you can't criticize just Wemby. Like, I get it, but like, it felt like a game. I think the reason why people, I think maybe the reason why the chat or some people in the chat might be like really upset with this game from Wemby is because it felt like a we need Wemby to save us type game. Like, Wemby needed to go off, and he didn't. He kind of needed to go off. But Wemby took some really weird, ill-advised shots. He looked tired. I don't know what was going on. And I try not to go too crazy in on Wemby, because even last year, when we were talking about, you know, Wemby, and I was like, he looks tired and all this, and then the blood clot stuff popped up, and it was like, oh crap, okay. And I would have looked really bad if I spent all that time saying Wemby needs to do this and Wemby needs to do that. I don't know what's going on. I'm sure he's fine, but you know, at the same time, I just call it as it is. Wemby made some weird mistakes, played poorly. You know, nothing else to say about it. It is mostly on Mitch. Wemmy's our leader on our court. He played timid and was visually tired. Yeah. Yeah, Wemby should have played harder for sure. I agree. But also, teams go on runs, and when teams go on runs, sometimes your coach need to, you know, make some adjustments on the fly. We can't rely on a pep talk at the halftime every time, like against the Rockets. You're not gonna be able to rely on that every time. There was way more coaching mistakes than I would like get angry at Wemby. You know, guys, I know you hate hearing it, but you know, you're talking about Wemby wasn't physical enough. I said this before. I don't think Wemby is going to be a player, nor should he have to be a player especially with how many responsibilities he has on the court, that he also needs to be your energizer bunny as well. Like, that's a lot you're putting on him. And it really hurt to see Brandon Miller get irritated by Jeremy. Like, Jeremy came up and said something to him. Like, we just need that toughness, man. And I hope whatever we get in return is of equal value, which I don't even know how you do that in this market, but of equal value or someone who can legitimately help us. Man, what a waste. What an absolute waste. I'm totally okay with losing somebody and it's like, oh, okay, it just didn't pan out, but oh gosh, I want guys to get a reasonable shot at it. I can't make a clear assessment on how much someone improved if they don't play. I hate that so much. Yeah, that was sad. So sad, bro. Just a waste. Wasting his time. I hope he doesn't go to the Knicks. Good God. That's actually like the perfect team for him. Spurs have problem beating good three-point teams. I don't, and the thing about that is I don't understand how my opinion can be discredited and saying, hey, let's play our defensive specialists a little bit more. I probably need to emphasize this too. I'm not convinced that offensively Jeremy and Carter are that bad. I'm not convinced of that. You can usually afford. Oh my gosh. You can usually afford to have a player on the court that's not like a crazy great offensive player. Like, you can usually afford to do that. So that's why I'm not convinced when people are like, oh, you need them to do this, and you need them to do that, and you need... No, you don't. Shut up. Not everybody on the court have to be that. You can afford to have one or two. That's not necessarily that. No one advocates for Castle not being on the court, and he doesn't shoot the best. So obviously you don't necessarily need it. Especially when you do other things maybe better as a team. Okay, sorry. What time do the Spurs play again tomorrow? Should have drafted Duran. You know I'm right, clan. Say that with love. Duran would be a backup center for us. And I think it's fine that we have Cornette. Duran would not be playing with Wemby. The idea for the Spurs... Oh, I mean, now I guess you could say that. I don't know. Because the Spurs don't use Sohan, but the idea at the time was to get a player that can kind of fit in any system, which he is that. But, you know, it's whatever. What time do we play tomorrow? Mitch's interview was the biggest nothing burger of all time. Yeah, it was pretty bad. Yeah. 3 p.m. What happened on the last play, Mitch? Ugh, I don't know. I didn't really get a look at it. It was our play. Get a look at it. It was our play, and Wemby was gonna curl into a half-point, 3-point, 3-ball, half-point 3-ball. Oh, dude. Well. You play Magic tomorrow. We'll see what happens. Saying maybe they told Wemby to relax on defense a bit until playoffs for injury reasons, but I doubt that. Yeah, I doubt it. Wemby under Mitch is garbage. Bad offense and bad defense. Like, let's be honest, Mitch Johnson was going to get some heat regardless of, you know, what he did as a coach. I understand that. I try to be rational. I try not to just say this coach is garbage or get onto him too heavy. But man, oh man, had the mismanagement of his players, the miscasting of roles, just not always, but a few players. It's really baffling to me. And I feel like getting the most out of certain archetypes, like getting the most out of a Jeremy archetype, getting the most out of a Carter Bryant archetype, getting the most out of a Dylan Harper archetype. Those are great. Like, I think those are the ones, like, you getting the most out of those type of archetypes is really what's going to push you over the edge once playoff hit. But we're getting the most out of, well, Castle too, but we're getting the most out of archetypes that are good. It's good for us, but I don't think it's going to get us over the edge. As much as I love Keldon, I don't think getting the most out of Keldon Johnson's role and who he is as a player is necessarily going to get us there. And I feel like you're getting the most out of some players and just not others. It's frustrating. Too much Castle for my liking. Castle can play. I'm okay with Castle getting 30+ minutes. But it's too much Castle, as in, like, we're running the offense through him all the time. Which they didn't this game, which was good. And our offense looked pretty good when they weren't doing it. But that second quarter was horrible. All right, guys, I'm going to hop off because I might take a nap. I need a nap. I hate to bash Mitch, but it's bad, man. I was so excited going into this game because I was like, whoa, adjustments, man. I was like, whoa, Harrison Barnes out of the starting lineup. Okay. We're not playing through Castle. This is great. Then we get to the second quarter. You play through Castle. Harrison Barnes still get nearly 30 minutes. And then Dylan Harper, he doesn't play in the fourth. And then Carter Bryant doesn't see the court. It's like, okay. Whatever. No timeouts. Like, I don't know. Go get that nap, big bro. See you tomorrow. Yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. So tomorrow at, what'd you guys say, 3 o'clock? I'm not crazy about early games. Yeah, 3 p.m. At San Antonio, right? Look like it's at San Antonio. Okay. me look at the Magic real quick. Jesus. I already missed Jeremy Clan. Me too. You know, the worst thing about all this is whenever Jeremy's gone and I do a Dear Sohan song, there's going to be so many people saying I'm obsessed over Sohan, even though I do it with like almost every player we lose. And gain. Oh, that's going to be frustrating. I'm not looking forward to that. What was Mitch's excuse for benching Harper? They didn't ask. Harper made a couple mistakes, and that probably was it. Oh, you making too many mistakes. Is it delusional to think that they don't trade Sohan and put him back in rotation? A little bit. People gonna cook you, you're right. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna get cooked. Enjoyed your live chat. Enjoyed you, man. If you want to win, trade Fox and Wemby for Cunningham, Duran, and Holland. If you want drama, stay put. I want give me what's his name? Give me Modest Buzelis. That's not gonna happen. Looking back, I know we got Fox, but I really wanted Modest Buzelis. I really wanted him. Anywho, everyone have a good night. Good rest of your day. Bye.